And here are bees. Hi, everybody. It's What the Fuck Tuesday here on the Debsterism channel. If you're new here and you don't know about What the Fuck Tuesday, you about to get an education. Because what we do is people send in advice letters, right? Because that's what I am. I'm an advice columnist. And my cousins put them into this document right here. Microsoft Word is very handy, and I read the letters on the air and give an answer off the cuff. So this you hear the questions at the same time I do. It says all of this is top secret. They don't let me see anything until it's time for the show. And then right before I get handed this document, and then I get started. So let's see what I wanted to remind everybody. Check the community page at the on the channel page. There's a survey that I put up that relates to the show on the I think it's the 31st, about dating trans people, or whatever other kind of people versus just straight people, and trying to get an idea of where everybody's head is. It's for the show on the 31st, where we're going to be talking about dating, singles dating in the era of the transgender man and woman. And there's a lot of conflict about that because people decide that they don't want to do that. They get labeled transphobic and all kind of horrible stuff. All kind of names. So anyway, we're going to talk about that and the pros and cons of it, and whatever other ins and outs. But I would like your opinion on it. This survey is based on a study that was done in Canada of 1,000 people. But it's like who knows who those 1,000 people are. And I would like to make sure that we have good representation of people of color in this survey. So please make sure that you guys repost it on your forums and any kind of black oriented forums and web pages and your pages and all this kind of stuff, because I want to make a good get a good cross section of races and genders, and that'll make it a lot more valid information. So hey everybody. Yes, it was hot. So I put my this girl used to sell these things. I forgot what they were called, but I ordered a whole bunch of them and I found them all stuck in a bag, all different colors. I said, "Oh yeah, let me put one of these on." These things were the bomb. I used to wear these like shoot every almost every day, and like 5 or 6 years ago, but they've been stuck in a bag ever since. But it's like the stretchy band thing, so it holds your hair in place, and I really like it. So I'm gonna be wearing the heck out of this summer. Keep my hair off my neck because it gets hot. So you guys ready? My moderators are here. It looks like everybody's here. Thank you guys for showing up to keep the troll population to an absolute minimum. So let's get started. We're going to answer advice letters. That's what we're here to do today. If you want to send your letter in for consideration for a future What the Fuck Tuesday show, there's a link in the show description page down below, and just fill it out and send it in, and it'll be considered. Not every letter that gets submitted gets included, but we try to pick some that are interesting or have widespread appeal. All right. Thank you, ladies. Oh yes, melanated soul. You been where you been? You been incognito. All right, let's go. Question number one. This is from a woman, 26 to 35, from California. Hi, Deborah. I just wanted to say that I absolutely enjoy watching your videos on YouTube, and I thought I'd ask for a bit of advice for a problem I've been faced with since early this year. First, I'd like to start off by saying that I am a married woman with no kids. My husband and I work from our home in our two-bedroom apartment, as well as run a side business together. Wow. We live in a quiet, drama-free home, and we like to keep it that way. My immediate family is extremely abusive and dependent upon me for money a lot of the time. My mother and father rarely ever contact me unless they need money, and my two older siblings in their late 30s, still living with my parents, mind you, do the same thing. They simply do not contact me unless they need something. My husband and I are currently looking to buy a home within the next 4 to 5 months and hoping to start our family soon after. My main concern is that my family will try to move into our new home with us since they haven't been doing so great financially these past couple of years. Oh, hell no. My parents are almost at retirement age. My father is the primary breadwinner in their household, and my two older siblings are not gainfully employed and never really have been. I was having a phone conversation with my mother several months back, after I mentioned to her that my husband and I were looking to buy a home. She immediately said something like, "Well, we might all need to move in with you since it's getting too expensive to live where we are now." My heart instantly sunk at the thought of this happening. The whole conversation had bothered me because my mother was very much expecting me to accept moving all four of them into our brand new house when we buy it, not once considering how my husband might feel about that. I should also note that these are not clean people. They trashed the living room, my old bedroom, and all of my older electronics I left behind when I moved out years ago. Not to mention, I mainly moved because one of my older siblings and my mother were verbally and physically abusing me, as well as causing a lot of drama for me while I lived there. My first response to my family wanting to move in or freeload off of us in the future has always been a resounding hell no. But something inside of me also tells me that I shouldn't turn my family away, especially my aging parents. But to be honest with you, Deb, I don't think I'd be able to manage living under the same roof as them ever again, especially since 3 out of 4 of them are unemployed. 2 of them have abusive tendencies. They are lazy and won't be able to contribute anything financially to the household. Oh, I'm sorry, household bills, groceries, etc. Should we just not buy a house at all? They wouldn't be allowed to move into our current residence as their names would have to be on the lease, which we wouldn't allow for that to happen. My husband and I have worked incredibly hard to be able to finally afford to buy the house of our dreams, and I don't want that dream to become a living nightmare. Any advice would be appreciated. Young lady, young lady, I know you care about your old ass, raggedy ass, trifling piece of shit parents. I'm sorry, but that's what they are. There's no reason in this world they should have 2 able-bodied adults living in the house with them that are not working and not contributing. There's something wrong with your parents. Now, your daddy and mother want to do that, that's fine. Those are their kids. They're not your children. Okay, they're your siblings, and they have chosen this lifestyle. Your parents are, have condoned it, and but you are the only one in your family that made it out alive, and that's trying to do something with herself. You and your husband need to have a united front. Now, I'm gonna say this too. Since you guys work out of your house, I mean, why do you have to live close to where they are? You know what I mean? I mean, I'm not saying don't buy a house. I'm just saying buy it somewhere else where they're not gonna be able to just show up. Okay. Another thing is they don't need to know where you live either. Get a post office box, one of the mailbox, etc. type of things that has a street address or whatever. Let their asses show up at that. Okay. Trying to surprise you at a point in some point in our life, you have to understand that the people in your family, the fact that you're related to these people is an accident that was out of your control. Okay, you are an adult now. You don't owe them shit. Okay, I know this is going to be hard for you because you have this thing where you're starting to guilt trip yourself about your parents. You have to stop doing that and think about the fact that they made choices for their life as adults. You made choices for yours. Their choices have them living in a house with some raggedy ass children that don't do shit. Why would you bring all of them and all their drama and mess and shit to your brand new house and your brand new marriage with your brand new, goals that you're trying to do of having your own children? Why would you even think about doing this? Okay. So my advice is, if you want to, you seem to be kind of on the fence and not really strong enough yet. So you said 4 to 5 months you want to buy a house. So you guys could do that, but look in an area that's further away from where they are. Okay, and then if you want to, you could always lie. Put your house in a trust that's in some kind of innocuous name that doesn't have to be really your names. And you name it like, I don't know, Sunshine Corporation or something like that, because they're not gonna know how to go to like the Secretary of State and look it up and all that stuff. That they're not gonna know how to do all that to find out who owns Sunshine Corporation. So you just tell them that you rent the house and that they're not on the lease, and that your landlord is very strict, and that they can't spend the night there and nobody can move in. Something like that. You got to just come up with some game to do what you want to do and have them out of the picture. But the main thing is, you need to start telling them right now that nobody's going to be moving into any house that you rent, own, lease, nothing except you and your husband. You need to tell your mother and father that if they are running tight on money and stuff is too expensive where they are, they need to sit on their sons and whoever's boys, whatever they got, your siblings, and tell them to get jobs. Just like you do, you and your husband work, they need to be working too. And tell your mother and father that. Put some bass in your voice when you do it. If you need to, put your husband on the other line so you can have some backup, or have him standing right behind you, with arms wrapped around you so you can feel stronger. But whatever you need to do, you need to make it very clear that those motherfuckers are where they gonna be on their own. And tell them if they need to move to some homeless shelter or something, that's just gonna be the way it is, because taking care of them is not your responsibility. That's some codependent bullshit. Don't even start going down that track. And I understand why you wrote this letter. You're confused. You feeling guilty. You worried about your parents and all this stuff. But don't do that. Did they worry about you? Did they worry about your shit when you moved out? You have to start thinking about stuff realistically. Now, don't romanticize it just because they got some DNA like yours. They some bullshit ass motherfuckers, and you need to cut them loose. The end. Oh, thank you, you guys. I guess I'll have to do this more often. I haven't worn my hair up and back in since probably last, no, 2 years ago or so. Now, you buy your house, but just think about what I said about putting it in a trust, okay? And then you can make a lease with the trust which is basically a lease with yourself, and then make it say whatever you want it to say to keep them out, and then say, oh, my lease says this. I'm sorry. Got it? And if you need somebody to play landlord, just give them my number. Because my family used to own property. That's what we did. That's my dad's business in San Francisco. We owned a lot of apartment buildings. So I know the lingo. I know how to talk the shit. And yeah, you can do that if you want to. All right? Yeah, blood ties, man. How you going to have some lazy ass bums think they going to move into your brand new house? Them motherfuckers be camping in a tent in the park. If they were my relatives, you wouldn't be them. And the old folks, they can go to a senior, like a assisted living or something like that, based on their income. So they can always find some place to be. It's them two knuckleheads that's gonna be trying to have a problem, but they better figure some shit out and get a job at McDonald's or something, make the magic happen. Question number 2. This is from a young lady, 25, 26 rather, to 35 in the UK. So I live with my boyfriend of almost 4 years, and this has been the way things have been for at least the last 2 years. Okay, so 2 years it wasn't this way. My boyfriend only touches me in a sexual way. In public or around a lot of family, he will hold my hand and give me normal kisses. But at home or in the car, etc., when we're alone, he will not even give me a hug without going for my butt or my breasts. He even touches me like that when he walks past me or something at home. I've told him multiple times I wish he wouldn't be so sexual all of the time, but then he only isn't for the next hour. He goes right back to being sexual pretty quickly. I would really like to just be able to kiss him or hug him or have his hand around my waist or something. Or even have him walk past me and hug me or give me an endearing touch rather than be sexual 24/7. Girl, you good. I'll tell you how I would handle this in a minute. I partially feel like I'm just overreacting, and maybe he's just doing it to show attraction. I don't know though. That's why I wrote to you. I just want to know if you think I'm overreacting or if this seems like a problem like it does to me. Thanks, Deb. Any woman wants to be touched by her man in a non sexual way that shows affection. Okay, affection. Not like he wants to be dicking her down every time he looks at her. I mean, it's great that he feels that attraction to you or whatever his thing is. I mean, that's how I would like to think about it. But on the other hand, see, this, I'm not really sure which is his thing. But what bothered me the most about this is that you have asked him repeatedly to respect your boundaries, to respect your body, not to touch you in unwanted ways when you've already expressed that you don't want him to do this. And he keeps doing it anyway. He also shows that he can stop doing it because he doesn't do it in the presence of family or out in public, right? So that means he has self control. That means he knows it's inappropriate because he doesn't want his family to see him groping your titties and butt, right? So your family to see that shit. So he knows that it's wrong. And you telling him that you don't want him to do it, he's totally ignoring you. So what you gonna have to do um is two things. One is every time he touches you like that when you don't want him to, hit his fucking face, slap the shit out of him, kick him in his balls, okay? And tell him, I told you to stop fucking touching me like that. I don't want you to touch me like that. I fucking hate it when you touch me like that. I mean, it's nice that you're expressing this and you all sweet and dainty and all this old shit. But he knows he don't have to pay attention to you because you don't do anything. You don't leave him. You don't, go somewhere else for a week and shut his ass down. You don't knock the shit out of him with something, clock him upside the head with something, or, beat his ass. You don't do shit to him except to write letters to me. This is a motherfucker that you dealing with here. I don't know what his problem is, but groping somebody like that against their will, that's like constant sexual assault. That's what's happening to you. It's like emotional abuse. You don't want him grabbing you like that all the time, and yet he's going to do it anyway. I'm like, I don't give a fuck what you want. It's like your body belongs to him or something. So, girl, I'm telling you, you better take a hardcore attitude towards this shit right here. You just letting him get away with murder. But you better, start when he does that shit next time, knee his ass in the stomach, kick him in his balls, knee him in his balls. Do something that's gonna make him have some pain so he understands what's going on. Because whether your pain is physical or not, it's psychological, it's emotional, it's destroying you. That's why you're writing to me. You might not understand that's what's going on, but that's exactly what's going on. This is abuse. So you're gonna have to just make a decision. So you could tell him, I don't want you to do that, what you've done, but have you actually like said, okay, instead of that, do this. This could be your last ditch effort. And then if he still continues to do these things, then you're gonna have to make a decision if you want to continue to be with this man. Because as long as you be with him, this is the shit that you're gonna have to put up with. You good, cause I would have been busted his ass upside the head with something. I told you, motherfucker, not to do that shit to me. I will let you touch me when I fucking feel like it. Other than that, you don't be grabbing on me like that, like pawing on me like I'm some kind of piece of meat. You lost your fucking rabbit ass mind. Oh, hell to the no. Hell to the no. We would be fighting. And this is just ridiculous. He's not even he's not even testing her boundaries. She's already violated them. She's as far as he's concerned, she doesn't have any boundaries because he's not respecting not one of them. So that's whatever boundary she thought she had is he just like what the fuck ever. Mm-mm. All right. So let's read this. This is question number 3. Oh, I forgot to see how many did they bless me with this time. Let us see. Looks like 15 again. I guess 15 is the new magic number. All right. So, this is a female, 26 to 35 from Halifax, Nova Scotia. Isn't that in Canada? Sue, is that in Canada? Isn't that up there somewhere? I could have sworn, well, I don't know, shit. I'm old now. I forget all my global stuff. Choke a motherfucker. All right. So she says, so this is something I feel very confused about and almost guilty, but I don't know what to do. My boyfriend, 32, and I, 28, have been dating for 2.5 years. I've known him for a long, long time. We are best friends. I can be my complete self with him and get along great. We have a lot of the same views on life. I love him a lot. However, he does have some intimacy issues, and it's a bit tough because he's not romantic with me almost never. Now, I definitely don't need anything fancy. I don't need fancy clothes or jewelry, and I don't need him to spend a lot of money. It's not about that kind of stuff. I'm pretty simple. I like flowers. I enjoy surprise home cooked meals, or even just a spontaneous date night or movie night is cool with me. But my boyfriend doesn't do any of these things at all. And I don't want to be shallow or rude or be demanding or materialistic. Well, goddamn, well, you need to be some of them. But there's literally no romance from him at all, and at times this hurts. I put up with it and ignored it for a long time because I do love him, and we do have a very strong relationship, and I do not want to throw that away because of something like that. But it's getting to the point where it's starting to really upset me. I have friends who with boyfriends that were surprising with a bowl and a nice hot bath, a bowl. I wonder what that means. And their favorite wine when they come home from a long day of work. But I can't even get my boyfriend to buy me flowers. And even if I try to hint at it, he says, "Why would you want flowers? They're just gonna die." I feel guilty because I don't want to be upset about this and I don't want to worry about it, but at times I do not feel special. Even on our anniversary, there's nothing. I have to plan out where we will eat in the hotel and everything. There's never even been so much as rose petals on the bed. We barely have sex either. It's just been 2.5 years, and I thought maybe something like this would improve, but nothing has changed. And I'm just starting to feel so lonely. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to fix it. I don't know what to say to him. And I don't know if it's wrong to break up with him. And I really don't want to because I really love him. And that's not what I want to do. But I just have no idea what to do about it. Any advice is extremely appreciated. Break up with this motherfucker. He ain't fucking you and he's not romantic. He just had you there just for something to do, just so he won't be by himself. You're in a relationship that, well, what do you call it, a relationship? By yourself, honey. You like planning all the events. You doing all the stuff that's romantic. He blows you off by saying, "Why would you even want flowers? Because they're just gonna die." And you say, "Well, yeah, but motherfucker, so are you. But I still want you, and you still want me. We both gonna die just like the flowers." Did you ever think of that shit? See, I would say some old smart mouth shit like that to him because that's how my mind works. You gonna say some fucked up stuff to me, I'm gonna say some fucked up stuff to you. Not only are you gonna die, but so is your mama, your raggedy ass daddy, and all your raggedy ass siblings. They're gonna die too. So you gonna give me some flowers, whether they die or not. I don't give a fuck. See, that's you guys. You gotta be like hardcore on these motherfuckers. I'm just I just don't understand why you would put up with this for 2.5 years. You're not married to this man. You don't have any children with this man. You don't own any property with this man. There's nothing for you to save here, girl. You just dating a dude. Okay, the shit is raggedy. Okay, it's time to go date somebody else. Once you get out of this nonsense, you will realize how miserable that you've been and the bullshit that you've been putting up with, and you will want to kick yourself for wasting 2.5 years of your lovely young life. Get out now. Find somebody who is going to respect and honor you and be romantic with you and adore you and treat you like you're special and important. This guy doesn't do any of that. Okay, he does nothing. You're hanging on to nothing, a zero. Please honor yourself more than this. You deserve way better than this nonsense right here. I don't know why I mean, I know you wrote me because you want to know if leaving him is the right thing. Is, dude, you should have done it like, okay, you've been dealing with him 2.5 years. You should have done it 2 years ago. Because a few months of this shit where he didn't fix it, that would have been, I mean, for me, it would have been a few weeks at the most. But you put up with it 2.5 years, that's long enough, okay? He's not going to change, and you're just going to be miserable. And you can't marry him because it's going to be like this for the rest of your life. So get out now and move on. That's my advice to you. All right. Yeah, she's just miserable. She's miserable in what she's calling a relationship that I don't know what the hell this is. It's not any kind of relationship that I'd want to be in. Whew. All right. Question number 4. This is from a female, 19 to 26 in the UK. Hi, Miss Cooper. I would really like to know what your views are on children reaching out to their estranged parents to form a relationship. I'm 25, and for almost 20 years, I've had no contact with my father. I was born in America, and when I was only a month old, I came to the UK with my mom. My mother had to leave my father and divorce him as he was being allegedly abusive. Since I left the States, I've only been back once to see my father when I was 7. More recently, I've had a family friend encouraging me to reach out to him. Her reasoning is that she doesn't believe it's fair for mothers to keep their children away from their fathers. She also said it's a positive thing that he paid child support. I'm aware that there are two sides to every story, but my father is someone I simply don't think about because he's been so absent from my life. I don't really have any feelings towards him. I'm not completely sure if he has my contact details, but as far as I'm aware, he has made no attempt to contact me. What do you think I should do? I think that woman, that busybody family friend of yours, you need to tell her, and you can quote me, bitch, mind your own fucking business. Okay? Me, my daddy, my mama is not your concern. Stay in your lane. Your lane is over there some damn where. This is my shit, and I'm handling my shit the way I want to. This is my life. I don't give a fuck about that motherfucker. I'm good. He paid child support. That's what his black ass needed to do. And as far as, you reaching out, let me tell you how this is going to go. Okay, you gonna get your hopes up. You gonna be all listen to this bitch, right? And so you gonna get your hopes up and start thinking about, yeah, my mother shouldn't have kept me from him, this and that. Okay, did this bitch remember the part about the abusive? Okay, there's no reason for a woman to not only leave a man, but to go to the other side of the planet to make sure there's distance between. Do you guys connect those dots? My audience, you know what I mean? That's a sign that there was some serious, serious issues there. She wanted to make sure that you and her was far away from him. Okay? And who knows what happened when you was back there at 7 because you didn't never went back. Okay? So that's very telling to me. That's very telling to me. So you would get your hopes up, right, based on this bitch and what she's talking about. And so you would reach out, you'd find him on Facebook or whatever, you find him, and then you'd be like, "Hi, daddy." And he'd be like, "Who the fuck is this?" And then you would be like, "Oh, this is, whatever your name is. And, I haven't talked to you for so long, I just wanted to see how you was doing. I'm fine." Click. Or how you and your bitch ass mama doing. Click. Or he hangs on the phone waiting for an answer about how you and your bitch ass mama are doing. What are you going to do? I see nothing good coming from this. If he was interested in having a relationship with you as an adult and you're a mere child, he had every ability to do that because phones, cell phones, computer phones, Google Hangouts, all of the you Skype, you can call anywhere in the world and even see people on your computer, your phone, all of this, right? So there's no excuse why this man has not reached out to you. He didn't want to. Okay, he didn't want to. And you need to understand that and accept it. And this busybody bitch over here, tell her you need to be having this conversation with him and asking him why his fucking ass didn't make contact with his child. He had all 18 years when I was a minor to reach out to me, and he did not. He chose not to do that. So it's not my job to go chasing that motherfucker down. You want to talk to him, bitch? You go call him, and then let that be the end of it. She wouldn't be asking me shit after I finished cussing her fucking ass out. Yeah, I mean, he's the fact that he was abusive to your mother. He may have been abusive to you and you just were too little to remember it. There's a story here. There's no reason why a mother would move to the other side of the world to get away from the child's father. Another state maybe where a plane could still keep, but the other side of the world, no, there's a story there. I don't know what it is, but I trust me, it is one. All right. Let's move on to question number 5. God, we got a lot of letters from like outside the US today. We got, Nova Scotia and UK, and here comes one from Leeds, West Yorkshire, Shire, England. West Yorkshire, Yorkshire. I don't know which one it is, but anyway. So this is a young man, a young lad, 19 to 25. He says, "I have deep feelings for someone. I see her in the future as a great wife and a perfect mother for our future, if any, kids, and that someone showed signs that she has feelings for me as well. I see my future self as a fine father and a great husband. What's holding me back is my educational level. I'm barely an IT professional, and she's a professional pediatrician. She's one of those straight A students. I believe she will be happier with someone else smarter than me because he'll be able to give better educational support to the kids. Being a good father is more important than being a great husband, in my opinion, but a kid's future is more important. Almost anyone can be a great husband, but not everyone can be a good father. Right now, we're still young. We're still studying in college. I haven't told her my feelings, but I'm almost certain she knows I have feelings for her. So my question is, should I continue letting the feelings develop, become an inefficient father, and live in regret my whole life? Or should I let both of our feelings diminish slowly before things get more serious, making it somewhat easier for her to find someone better and live in regret my whole life? Oh my God, dude, what the fuck? You have some low self esteem. I just don't even understand. You're both students. She's not a pediatrician yet. So what, she's in school. That might be her goal, but she's not one yet. She's in school just like you. So what are you talking about? She's all this stuff. She's a student. So are you. Do you know people do drop out and flunk out and all kind of lose interest in shit, right? You don't know that? So just because that's what your goal is, that doesn't mean she's going to reach it. And college students very often change goals, majors and whatever midstream. She might decide she don't want to do that. She wants to go into something else. Like maybe she want to go into IT. You never know what the future is going to bring. I want you and your 19 to 25-year-old self to relax and stop thinking so far into the future. It's great that you want to be a great father. Believe me, I wish more young men here in the United States had that goal. It's wonderful that you want to be a husband, great husband. But let me tell you something. You said being a father is more important than being a husband. No, it's not. You got to be a great husband if you have great children and a great family. They all tie together. You can't be a great father to the kids and a fucked up husband to your wife. You think your marriage is gonna last? Your thinking is wrong, sir. You need to be a great husband to your wife. Your children will be happy. Your home will be stable. Your wife will be in love madly and just, all fawning all over you. You have more sex than you can handle. Your kids will be happy because their parents are always kissing and hugging, holding hands and stuff. It makes them feel secure. You have to be a wonderful husband, and that in turn will enable you both to be great parents. You have a strong foundation in your home for your children to grow on and to, spring forth and be this wonderful people in the world when they mature. But right now, you're still a child, you're still in school. Calm your behind down, relax, get out of school, just wait a while and wait around and see what happens. You doing too much. Oh my God. He just just got her all, yeah, you're right, on a pedestal. He got her on a pedestal when she's just a student, just like you. You guys are on a level playing field. She's no better than you are, dude. Okay? You're both learning to be whatever it is you want to be when you grow up. So calm down. Making my back itch. It's got a tinge of dustiness to it. All right. Let's do question number 6. We got this is number 6 of 15. For those of you who just rolled in here, we're doing What the Fuck Tuesday. As you see on the screen, we do this every Tuesday. Advice letters live on the fly. Because I have almost 30 years of experience with this, I can do this. Unlike most people who can't think that fast and don't have this vast store of data and information and experience to draw upon. So if you want your letter on the show, you got to be willing to get clowned though, because a lot of people are sensitive. They be like all up in their feelings. But if you brave soul, just go on the thing down below. You see the link to submit your advice question. Do it. Let's go on question number 6. This is from a young woman, 26 to 35, out of New York. Hi, Deb. I have a question. There's this guy that I met on a dating app. I was particularly interested in. We exchanged phone numbers and follow each other on Instagram. We've texted for 3 weeks now, and he asked me out a couple of times, but it just so happens I've been out of town for work. He kept in touch with me while I was out of town, and we had a really good conversation about things we were going to do together when I got back. After I was in town, we finally nailed down a date to meet. And after all that texting, I didn't hear from him all day that day. I had to reach out around 5:30 p.m. and say, "Hey, did you still want to get together tonight?" He said he had to travel for work that day and just got back, so it would be better to do something on the weekend. Well, I had plans again to travel for work that weekend. Since I've been out of town so much and he's taken the initiative to ask me out a couple of times, should I ask him out to meet for coffee or leave that up to him? He might have given up by now. I don't know what to do. Let me explain something to you, honey. You don't have time to date. Okay, all the prime dating time of the weekends, your ass not even in town. What is it that you think he would be going to meet you to do? Just get his feelings hurt when you go back out of town for work again? You need to either get your job situation squared away so that you're around more to spend time dating somebody, or just don't date because you can't do both. You can't do both. This is not going to work. Okay, so you know, and people, even though may be legitimate, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that what you're talking about is false, but I'm just saying, don't you think it's suspicious that people be like, oh, you always out of town on the weekends? That means you have somebody else and you just lying and playing games. Hey, thanks, Ashley. That's the way that most people are going to take that. Okay, they like you just playing games. So to me, if I were him, I would not be interested in hearing from you at all, and I would just call this a wrap. Somebody that you exchanged some texts and some conversations with, but it didn't work out. You don't have time to build a relationship. Let's be realistic here. Okay, you don't have the time. Your job is too demanding and you just don't have the time. There's nothing that's going to really get off the ground with you in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out all the time. So, you could call him if you want. I'm not saying don't, but I'm telling you, you're going to get your feelings hurt. If I were you, I would just wait on that. I wouldn't be chasing after dude. Diva R, you stop. Yes, thanks. Yes. All right, let's move on. We got question number 7. Whew. Ugh. Is anybody else sneezing from the dust? It's kind of dusty in here. But this one, she was a dusty female. All right, male, 46 to 55 from New Mexico. Oh, I don't recall. Did we ever have a letter from New Mexico? I don't recall. I have a new girlfriend, and she seems to be under the impression that I am going to continue to pay for everything when we date. I supported my wife for 21 years and brought up 2 children. This new girlfriend seems to think I'm going to pick up where her husband, who is deceased, left off. She mentions going on foreign holidays and all sorts of things that cost money. I have been divorced for many years now, and usually if a woman behaves like this, I just drop her. This one, however, I really like and I want her to stick around. It's not so much that I can't afford to pay, it's more than I think I have done my share of paying. Any suggestions as to how I can tell her nicely that I want us to share the cost of going out? I'm going to say this. You in the 46 to 55 age group, dude. Don't you know women in that age group, especially if they was raised with their daddy, are not going to offer to pay for shit. That's not going to happen. You need to date some young one. Thanks, Tosh, baby. I love the tips. Man, it's just going into straight into my wino fun. Well, it's supposed to be wine fun, but wino fun. That's not necessarily gonna be her mindset, sir. You trying to mix old fashioned values in a woman in that age group with this newfangled shit these girls like to do, go Dutch and all this old stuff, and then you'll be bored out of your mind because they just too young and silly. So, she's in that age group. Plus, she was married, so you figure if she had a daddy and then she had a husband who took care of her till he died, then where is it that you think she would get this magical idea that she's supposed to? Oh, Tosh baby gave another some more. Thank you. Um, come up with this idea. Um, I think that that's what it is. She just old fashioned. Another thing that you might want to think about is, okay, you said she mentions going on foreign holidays and all these kind of things. What does mentioning mean? Did that say, I want you to take me? Did she say, let's go this week and this and that, blah, 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 blah? Somebody's talking in the general, overall sense about some, trips or whatever. Does not mean that she's expecting you to pay for it. You kind of putting the cart before the horse. All you have to do in a situation like that, especially since you say you want her to stick around, is talk about it. What, you don't have a mouth? You can't say those ideas that you say sound really nice and fun, but how would you plan? How did you think about us structuring this financially? Something like that. Put it the ball in her court. Don't start up like I'm not gonna pay for. I'm not doing. I did all that. It's it's like it's real irritating because I had this guy that I was talking to, and he was telling me all about all the shit he used to do with his ex girlfriend, all the stuff he used to do for her, and then he flatly told me, "Well, I'm not gonna do any of that stuff for any woman I get with in the future." Okay, I'm on the phone and you trying to holler at me, and you're gonna sit up there and tell me what you not gonna do. Whereas you did everything in the world for this other bitch, but now you don't want to do shit for me, and you think that I'm gonna give you my time, my attention, share my body with you, welcome you into my life and my home and all this stuff, introduce you to my friends and family, and spend time with you? You think that's gonna happen when you tell me right up front that you ain't gonna do shit for me? What the fuck do I want? What I look like? So I got rid of his ass, and you come with her with this attitude that you all funky like you have in this letter. She's going to do the same thing. Now you simply talking about I want her to stick around. You better fucking act like you want her to stick around. So like I said, you approach this in a gentlemanly way, like you have some goddamn sense, and you say, well, that sounds really nice and fun and stuff, but how should we, divide up the expenses? Have you given that some thought? What you comfortable with or something along those lines. Word it your whatever way you want to. But is you gonna be letting her know by communicating that don't be looking for me to pay for all of it. And then you start need to think about, well, what are you willing to do? Maybe like pay for the hotel and some dinners and she buy her own ticket and pay for some tourist events or something. I mean, think about what you're comfortable with. So when she asks you, you have an answer. But don't you come with this, I'm going to do everything. Cheapskate. All right, let's move on to question number 8 because you irritated me. Female, 26 to 35 from Beaumont, Texas. I have been married for 15 years to my husband, who is 8 years my senior. I am 35. We have two children, 14 and 11. I have been in a verbally abusive marriage for mostly all the years we've been married. It wasn't until recently that I acknowledged the fact that I have been enduring years of verbal abuse, at times physical. Mm. He even spit in my face. Some of these things happen in front of the kids. It took me a while to realize the abuse because for many years when I was younger, I found it almost normal. As I've grown, I matured and created expectations as a woman. I've come to realize that none of this behavior is normal. My husband would verbally berate me over minuscule things, drag on the berating for a good 2 hours, then get over it and be fine after. Meanwhile, I'm left feeling like a piece of crap. And after going through this over and over and over, I start to think he was bipolar. Even his own mother feels the same, well, as he puts her down with words. When things get terrible, he's wished her death. What? Last week, our oldest child was pushed out of the house and the door locked for asking how he expects respect if he can't respect his own wife. She got kicked out, and then he told me to go down the street as she was making a scene, aka crying. I am Sally, married to what you call a Dusty. Hell yeah, you are. And 15 years of this self imposed mental torture has been enough. I say because I've chosen to stay, but I don't know how to leave, where to begin, what to do. Authorities have come to my house due to his screaming, which was heard by the alarm company operator. Our alarm sensor went off due to his yelling. Damn, he must be hella loud. And when the alarm company called, they must have heard him, and within 5 minutes, police were at the door. It was a blessing in disguise, otherwise, who knows how long it would have lasted. When the time comes to leave, I do have the support of my parents and know exactly what I'm dealing with. I'm afraid to leave, but know that for the mental health of myself and my children, this has to end, so it is what I must do. Can you offer any insight, advice, and suggestions? Your husband is a nut. How you stayed for 15 years enduring this bullshit, I don't know. Because, see, for me, even if I was going to endure it myself, once he started in on my kids, I would have had to pick up the nearest blunt object and brain that motherfucker, bust his lips and teeth out so that he couldn't talk. He couldn't talk shit. But in a situation like this, girlfriend, you got to, if you don't think about nobody else, you got to think about your kid talking about, I'm afraid to leave. Afraid of what? You should be afraid to stay because he's getting physical with you and locking your kids out in the middle of the night and all this old shit. That's just too much. So, I would suggest calling a domestic violence shelter in your area, okay? Because they're going to know about resources, job training if you need it, how to, what methods are the best methods for you to deal with his nutty ass, protective order. I mean, they're going to know what is the best thing because that's what they're trained to do. I, that's my best suggestion for you. But I do know that for me, the police would have come and they probably would have had to take both of us away because once he put his hands on me, then to me it's like it's open season on your ass. I'ma shoot you, I'ma stab you, I'ma beat your ass with a baseball bat, I'ma run you over with my car, I'ma do something that leaves a permanent damage to your fucking body. But that's just that's me because I'm a very violent person. Not everyone is like me, and I understand that. But especially you fucking with my kids. Oh no, motherfucker! Now you got to die. That's just it. You don't touch my children, and you're not gonna do no cruel things or talk to them crazy. Cause now you got to deal with me. So, you need to find your courage from somewhere. Call up your mama and daddy. But first, like I said, first call the domestic violence piece, because they may suggest that you not go to your parents' house since he knows where they live and stuff, and they're elderly people. They may suggest, that it's better for you to move to a safe house or somewhere where there's like security and stuff like that while he goes through the initial, separation process. Because as far as I know from what law enforcement say and all these domestic violence people, the hardest time when men are like this and violent, it's the most difficult time for the woman's safety is when she's trying to leave. So you contact them first, find out what they can do to help you get out of that situation safely. Follow their instructions because they're the experts. I'm not. And then, do whatever it is you need to do after that. But this is definitely time for you to get up out of this. 15 years of this bullshit. Get a life insurance policy on him, then cut the brakes and lights on his car and ask him to go to the store. That's only going to work if they live on a hill. Or she sends him out. He has to be somewhere he could pick up some speed or be around a cliff or something. Then, yeah, that's a great plan. But, we don't know what the financial situation is. She didn't say anything about having a job, so I'm not sure what that's all about. But that's why, getting to a shelter where they can put, you can go there and get yourself together, and they take care of you and your kids, in the interim until you get a job, and they give you clothes. I mean, they do, everything to get you straight. So do that, okay? Question number 9. This is a young woman, 19 to 26. Oh, it says none provided. So we don't know where she's from. All right. Dear Deb, I'm a 22-year-old and I met a man at my place of work who I agreed to go out on a date with and got stood up for a date he planned. I know in reality it isn't my fault, but I find it difficult not to beat myself up about it. I was so embarrassed and was so confused considering he told me just the day before about how he was molested in his youth and his issues with his father. I found it odd for someone to give me that information, especially since I had only known him for a week, and then to have stood me up. I woke up to a very lackluster apology that just mentioned he slept through his alarm after cursing him out via text. He's 28 years old. Any advice on what to do or how not to put this on myself? It just seems like every man I've met during dating in my 20s has been very negative, and I'm very discouraged overall. Okay, let me tell you something. Anytime a man starts telling you that he's been abused and he has issues with his daddy or issues with his mama or he don't trust women, any kind of bullshit like that, before you even go on the first date, you need to say, oh, well, that's very nice. Thank you for telling me. I wish you the best. You do not go out with somebody who's this unstable and this damaged emotionally. Okay. He warned you that he was going to be a flake and a fool, and you didn't listen. You didn't take the bait. Now, I don't want you to beat yourself up about this because you're young. You're 19 to 26. You don't know no better. That's why you wrote to me. But I'm telling you this for the future. Number one, there's a video on this channel that I did, I don't know, maybe 3, 4 months ago. It's not that long ago. Uh, about, anyway, something about, it's not your fault. That's the thing. It's not your fault. I think it was during February. And it's called It's Not Your Fault, and don't blame yourself for the dumb shit that men do. Listen to that, okay? Just type in It's Not Your Fault under the videos. It's Not Your Fault, Deborah Cooper or something like that, and it should pop right up. And you don't need to be embarrassed and you don't need to be confused. He was the one who was stupid, not you. You were a person of your word. You showed up, you did what you're supposed to do based upon his representations, okay? So there's nothing for you to be embarrassed about. He was the one who didn't do what he was supposed to do, not you. But in the future, like I said, when they start talking about any kind of damage, lack of trust, issues, especially if it's a parental issue, do not go out with him. Do not put any kind of emotional investment in him. Just get rid of him because he needs to see a fucking shrink. He he cray. Yes. Dia says stop dating and get your knowledge up. That means you need to spend some time on this channel, listen to these videos, and taking notes. Okay. You can work on your self esteem because this is not, it's like you just want to go out with everybody and anybody. You have to have some standards. And a man who's going to tell you right out that he's fucked up right off the bat and you still want to go out with him, see, that's not having proper standards. Question number 10. We doing good on time, huh? Yeah. It's very much a manipulative trick. They try to get you to feel sorry for them. And, you didn't play the script though, so he didn't show up. You were supposed to say, "Oh my God, you poor thing. Why don't you come over?" That's all he wanted. Question number 10. This is from a young man, 19 to 26, from Redwood City, California. Oh, good. I have been dating my girlfriend for 3 months. We met in January and things moved pretty quickly. We both kind of the same in that way, like to move quick. Anyway, things were absolutely incredible between us. I never felt so strong for a woman in my life. And she would tell me how wonderful I was. She wanted me to come see her any chance I got, and I did. I'd wake up to text from her saying she missed me. I'd send her little videos before, okay, you doing too much. Okay, in late March, she had gotten some possibly serious health related scares. Ooh, a lump in her breast. And she kind of shut herself down. We didn't stop talking, but I could tell that it was weighing heavily on her. So I reminded her that I'm always going to be there for her, good or bad. She also suffers from depression, as do I, but I'd never shut her out of my life if the roles were reversed. She's still going through these health problems, and I've remained by her side the whole time. The problem is I haven't seen her in a little over a month. Well, then how you gonna stay by somebody's side if you ain't even seen them? She says she doesn't feel like herself and is currently staying with her sister for a bit to get her mind off of everything. Even before going to her sister, she had become a little distant and she take longer and longer to reply to my text. So 3 days ago, I sent her another video of me playing the guitar for her, which she said she loved. But that night before I went to bed, and that night before I went to bed, I left her a voice message saying, I love you and I'm always going to be here for you no matter what. Dude, you just doing too much. The next morning, I woke up to a message saying I'm too clingy and lovey dovey and it's not making her feel better. Then she says at the end of the message, I just need a break. I responded back that I'd stop that if it annoys her. Maybe I am too lovey dovey, but she knew that from the start. She was kind of like that too. I told her how my parents basically didn't even like each other, and that's why I'm like that. I told myself I'd never be like my parents in that regard, so naturally I want my girlfriend to feel loved and appreciated. Well, I haven't talked to her in a couple of days now, and I'm quite confused as to what to do. Do I let her contact me first? Do I go see other people? All I know is I don't want our relationship to end. Any advice, I'd greatly appreciate it. Dude, when a woman says I need a break, that means you're broken up. Okay? People use that polite euphemism. I don't know why folks don't get it. Break. Anytime the word break is used in a relationship, that means a breakup. Okay, that's not your girlfriend no more. So, yes, you should start going out with other people. And might I recommend in the future that you don't be so, expressive with your emotions, doing all this stuff, romantic songs and 900 texts a day. And I love you all the time. And I'll be there for you forever. I mean, please stop that. Oh my God. Let somebody miss you a little bit. Just a little bit. I mean, you want to feel, she wanted her to feel secure and all that stuff, but you don't have to overdo it. You just overdoing it. And the main thing is, that you're not really cognizant of is this is a young woman, okay, with a lump in her breast. She's scared shitless. She's thinking mastectomy, cancer treatments. I'm not going to have no hair. What if I die? It might come back. If I get treatment, what am I going to do? What are my parents going to do? My sister, I'm going to leave my sister, my family. They'll be so upset, blah, blah, blah. Okay, she's got a lot on her mind. She's got a lot on her mind at this young fucking age. And all you talk about is yourself. I mean, it's nice that you want to be her by her side, but she's with her sister. That's who she's chosen to be by her side. Her family. Okay? So this is when you need to take a step back or 10 steps back, and you didn't do it. You didn't give her space and let her reach out to you when she was emotionally stable enough to do so. And so now she can't be burdened with trying to reciprocate your emotions and deal with your neediness and deal with her own confusion, pain, and fears at the same time. She just can't do it. So one thing had to go. So that was you. And I hope you understand that. So, step back, start dating other people, and remember this as a lesson not to do so much in the future when you get with a woman. Express yourself a little bit, but hold some back. Okay, you don't have to jump in with both feet right away. All right. What was that? Oh, oops, I missed some a line. Yeah, he's doing a little bit too much, a little too much. Uh oh, check your notifications, no Nino. Because you know what people have been telling me YouTube has been doing is not only canceling their subscriptions from my channel, which really pisses me off, but even if they kept the subscription, the instant notification bell is getting turned off. I mean, I must have heard that already from at least 100 people. So I'm not sure if all that happened on one day or if there's some glitch in their system. I don't really know what to say. But I've heard that from so many people that their subscription got canceled, and it's like giving me an attitude. It's like, look, you already fuck up my chats, YouTube, and my live streams, and now you want to get rid of my subscribers too? Really? Can just like Why don't you add some subscribers? Like you gonna make an error, and make it make it in a direction that benefits me, not that hurts. Yeah, Dolores Claiborne. That movie was good. I remember that. All right. Let's move on. We're on question number 11. This is from a female, 26 to 35, San Luis Obispo. That's here in California as well. All right, Deb. I am heartbroken and hope you can help me with this family nightmare. Ooh. My husband is the primary custodial parent. The children visit their mother every other weekend. For a very long time now, their mother has been telling them things like, Dad is not their real dad. Dad doesn't love you. I'm not their mom. Don't call me that. Wow. The children came back from their visit this weekend for Mother's Day. Our oldest son is 9. He got in an argument with his mother. She told him that she was never fighting for him in court just for the two little ones. She also said to him that she didn't want him to visit her anymore. Their mother was telling them, I'm a bitch. Our oldest son has been so affected to the point where he wants to die and doesn't want to live anymore. Oh, that poor baby. He's afraid of her and doesn't want to go over there anymore. I know you are not only a relationship advice expert, but you also have a background in family law and litigation in California. Any advice is what we can do. Yes, you're right. Even though my experience is, of course, very old now, but because after that I went into, .com stuff. But what I would suggest, this is abuse. What she's doing to these children is emotional abuse, psychological abuse. As the custodial parents, it's up to well, wait, you're married, so you're in there too. As the custodial parents, it's up to you to protect these kids, okay? So even though you did not birth them, you need to let your mama lion out and do whatever you all need to do to protect these kids from their whack ass mother. So I don't know what your financial situation is. Maybe you could get help from legal aid because usually it's free to a sliding scale. Just run through the state bar. It's like maybe $50 or something for a consultation with a family lawyer, and they can give you some ideas. Usually, the filing the paperwork and stuff, you can do that yourself. Once they get into court, what you want to do, you're trying to figure out how to best prepare the court documents so that the judge gets an idea of what is really going on. So what you want to do is prepare, a pleading for modification of child support, child visitation based on abuse. And then in your pleading, you want to request a family court appointed psychologist. Okay, and what they do is talk to the children. They'll talk to you guys together. They'll talk to the children individually if they're old enough. But 9 is, you don't say what the age of the other children are, but the 9-year-old is old enough. And then they will also go to your home sometimes, and they'll go to the other parent's home sometimes. This costs money, it's not free. But what you can do in your quest to get this child visitation order modified is to make her have supervised visitation. That's your goal. Supervised visitation so that there are nurses, police officers, deputy sheriffs, psychologists, everything right there in the visitation center where they are, overhearing everything that she says. And if she says anything out of pocket to those kids, then she could lose her visitation with them altogether. But that's what you want to do. You want to put her ass in a box. Okay, well, she can't do nothing. And if she decides she wants to give up her parental rights and not have visitation, well, then that's a good day. Because it sounds like that's the direction she's trying to push. And but whatever you do, do not give up. Make this happen. I don't care if you have to go to some of your other relatives and borrow some money. Your husband has to work an extra shift. You have to get a part time. Whatever you all need to do to pay for an attorney if you need one. But like I said, usually, by the time you get the court appointed person, they apportion payment, so the mama would have to pay some too, or she could just give up her custody rights, and you take them over as the parents, and you just adopt the kids and y'all going with your life. Okay. Well, yeah, I don't know where she is, but whatever, every state has, a state bar, and every state operates, indigent attorney services, clinics, that kind of stuff. Sometimes they're offered through churches. Sometimes they're offered through county offices, one day a month or twice a month or something. And sometimes they're offered through different, they're actually organizations that offer them. So I don't know, what she say? Oh, San Luis Obispo. I don't know anything about what's down in that area. But you in California, I do know for a fact that the state bar has such referrals. So you should be all right. Okay? That's what you need to do. Question number 12. This is from a woman, 46 to 55, in Queens Village. Queens Village. She saw one word. I don't know where that is. Hello, Miss Deb. I am one of your biggest listeners. I've also introduced my mom to your show, and she also did introduce her friends to your show. Now I can't stop my mom from cursing. And I often have to tell her, stop, mom, you're not Miss Deb. Oh my God. I created a monster by introducing her to your show. But it's all good. Oh no. You got Granny over there cussing. Shit, if you 46 to 55, that means she's got to be at least in her 60s. That's hilarious. Thanks, Betty. Oh, you always dropping love. Thank you, girl. I thought of you when I was at Bevmo buying my wine for Mother's Day. Anyway, my short question. I met this man and we're in a relationship for the past 5 months. Okay. However, I see this man entertaining and flirting with other women online by making what is disrespectful comments on other women's posts. We met in a singles group and he's always on the same groups under other women's posts making comments like he's single. I communicated my uneasy feelings to him because he goes overboard with inappropriate comments on the other women's posts like he's a single man. He would apologize, but after a few days, do the very same thing he apologized for. I feel that he's planting seeds in women's minds, and one thing could lead to another because this is how we met. This makes me not trust him, and I believe that entertaining other women is cheating. I am 47 and he is 50, and I feel this is immature, what he's doing, and I feel insecure and not being enough. What are your thoughts, please? Am I acting too insecure and immature? Thank you for your advice. Yes, this must be somewhere in the UK because she put an SE. My mom said, Miss Deb is going to curse you the fuck out. Shaking my head. This woman never talked like this before. LOL. Mom is off the hook. I'm not going to curse you out, but I'm going to use some very strongly worded language at you, young lady. Number one, this is not your boyfriend. Now you talking about you in a relationship. What he did was lock down some pussy. Talking about he in a relationship while he dibbles and dabbles over there. You got to understand the game. This is not the behavior of a man who's in a committed relationship. This is behavior of a man who's a dusty bum, playing games with your mind. So what you need to do is tell him that this is not the kind of relationship that you imagine yourself being in, and he's full of shit. And his little thing, he want to be out there flip flopping around and stuff like he's still 25 with his old ass. Needs to be sitting the fuck down some damn where. And there's no reason for you to feel insecure and to feel like you're not enough. You're not in a relationship. There's no need for you to worry about feeling that kind of way. This is just bullshit and games that he's playing with you. But you see a man is making you feel bad. He's not having you doubt yourself. He's, question the relationship, feel insecure, worried, wonder what he's doing, why he's doing it. All those are signs that you don't need to be in this situation. Okay, you shouldn't have had to write me about this. You should have been writing to tell me, Deb, let me tell you about this dusty motherfucker I just dumped, because he was doing the most. Okay, and that's your mama is right, because she knows how I am. And so, but I'm trying to be nice and not curse you out. But I'm so tempted, but I'm gonna be nice. I'll save it for another letter because I still got some more. But you get rid of this fool and stay off them dating apps. Every time people tell me they messing about on the dating app, it's always gonna end badly. It's always some old fuckery. It never ends well. Question number 13. Lucky 13. Female 65 plus from Long Grove, Illinois. My son and his girlfriend have a 7-month-old son. I babysit him at my home 2 days a week and other times when they want to go out or have counseling, doctor's appointments, etc. I love watching him. But now there's a conflict that has arisen between them. He is the sole breadwinner, and she has decided to go clean and help out her friend's grandmother for free 1 day a week, and it is a half-hour drive. The grandmother has her daughter and family right next door, and many other grandchildren grown nearby. Twice his girlfriend has texted me to ask if I want to come to her house to babysit while she does cleaning for the friend's grandmother. That bitch lying. She fucking somebody. I am 66 years old. While I'm happy to bend over helping with babysitting that benefits my son and girlfriend, I don't want to devote my time to babysitting so she can go clean house for someone else. I feel like I'm then sacrificing my time to take care of someone I don't know while my house is with work that needs to be done. I made excuses the last 2 times. I would like to nicely just tell her I want to watch the baby, but not for this particular situation. But I'm afraid of causing conflict. Any advice? I haven't said anything to my son. The reason is that they are going to counseling. A relationship is already rocky. He gets stressed out if I mention stuff, and then he tends to get frustrated with her. Okay, I knew it. Okay, this is even more evidence. I don't want to cause him or the relationship more stress. I feel like I need to keep quiet and handle this myself. However I choose to do that. I just need to hear how you would handle things Deb style. Ha ha ha. Thank you. I would tell that bitch, look, I know you going over to pound, you got some nigga you want to go fuck, and you think I'm gonna be babysitting this damn baby while that happens. I'm not doing that. Okay, that's your problem. You laid up there and had this damn baby. So you figure out what to do with this damn baby. I'm gonna be the baby watching the baby the 2 days a week that I promised, and that's it. That's all I'm gonna do. I am retired. I'm 66 years old. You think I'm gonna be bothered with a goddamn baby all the damn time? Especially like this weak ass excuse she's using. I mean, really? That's the best you could come up with? You could have said you was volunteering at some center or something that would make some sense. But to go clean one person's house when they got all that family around like that, she's not even a good liar. You know? She ain't mopping no floor, lady boss. That bitch lying. See, by the time I got that vibe, but then by the time this lady says that they're counseling because the relationship's already rocky, that's what it is. She done found somebody else. And she trying to make time where she could go deal with this fool and, a couple of hours here, once a week or whatever it is supposed to be. What did she say? To clean house for someone else, and it was 1 day a week, and it's a half-hour drive. Yeah, and she got daughter and family next door. No, this is bullshit. She's fucking somebody. That's what that is. But that's what you need to tell her, Granny. To say, I know the game. My son might not know the game, but I'm not stupid. I know what's going on. That's one of the reasons why you having such problems in your relationship because you got some other motherfucker that you fucking. But that's not gonna be my deal, honey. I don't have nothing to do with all of that. So y'all handle your business. Break up if you're going to. Do whatever you all gonna do. Fix it, whatever. But don't try to get me in the middle of that. Okay, you handle that. And I'm gonna do it when you got something sensible to do, like I've been doing. But other than that, don't ask me to babysit. That's it. Yeah, the son needs a dumper, but he's probably got that thing where he's talking about, oh, that's my baby mama, and he's my family, and he's the breadwinner, right? So that means, he knows if she go, he gonna be having to pay, some child support up the yin yang. So he's probably trying to hold it together. I mean, he might really love this little funny looking girl, but whatever it is, this relationship's jacked up, and she's trying to get the boy's mama involved in the jacked up bullshit, and so the mama need to bow out, humdulillah, 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 and just let her figure that all out. Question number 14. This is another male. God, we got a lot of dudes today. 36 to 45 from San Rafael, California. I am a 45-year-old man who has been dating a 37-year-old woman for about a year. With the exception of a few arguments, we get along fine. She is smart and ambitious, and my friends like her. However, I am trying to understand a few things about her personality and texting habits. She sends long texts instead of texting me about important topics. She's even argued with me on text, sending in all caps and exclamation points. Are you sure she's 37? I told her many times I prefer real conversation. Sometimes I think we text more than talk in a day. Also, she sends me a picture of herself almost every day. Now, see, something's wrong with her. This is not 37-year-old behavior. Sometimes I do not, I do too, but I don't get why she needs that. She asked me to send one back. Sometimes I do, but I don't get why she needs that. Many of her texts are just emojis, hearts, eyes, drinks, eggplant, etc., and some are sexual in nature. That's what the eggplant is, my brother. Things that she wants to do to me when we are together and asking me to do to her. She sends me links about adult events in our towns and sexual quizzes and exploration, orgies and threesomes. What? At first, this was okay and I was excited, but I feel like now it's kind of too much and somewhat immature. Once she even sent me a link for a trip to Europe and told me that she'll give me the best sex of my life if I took her. We are already very sexually active, so I'm not sure what that meant. I have a childhood friend who I confided, and he thought it was cool at first too. But now he says these things are disturbing, and maybe she needs quote help. Oh my God! How do I approach this with her? What do you suggest I tell her? I like this woman and would like to continue seeing her, but this part of her personality is a turnoff. By the way, I found you through the blog post you wrote about texting etiquette. In case you are wondering why a middle-aged white guy from Marin is writing you, he busted me out because that show is what I was thinking. Usually they write, like I don't know who they write, but it ain't me. Just for those of you who live outside California, Marin County is a very ritzy part of the Bay Area. They had multi-million dollar homes when everybody else's house was selling for $150,000. Okay, that's Marin County. Um, so let me, dude, you wrote so much. Okay, let me look back on this. Okay, she sent me a link for a trip to Europe. She sends pictures. Okay, let me start at the top. You say she's 37. Have you seen any ID that says that? You've been dealing with a girlfriend for a year, but her mentality is more like somebody 27 instead of 37, maybe 30 at the most. Her's very juvenile, okay? Sending emojis and all stuff. That's what like teenagers and stuff do. Oh, Lady Boss, that was a lot of stuff. And she is not offering like what's the word I'm looking for? Substance. There's no substance to this relationship. It's all fluff and mirrors and bullshit. And you was excited about it at first because she kept you in a sexual dizziness state of dizziness. But now that you're coming back down to earth and you see her for what she really is, you kind of like, what the fuck? Who are you? Why is this happening? Send it. You know what I mean? These selfies and emojis, and this is very juvenile behavior. People who are in their 40s, 30, damn near 40 years old, don't typically do this kind of stuff. So, and adult events and all stuff. Okay, she's like she's, got this freaky side to her. I don't know if that's really her or if it's what she thinks is going to get her a guy of means. Because, you living in San Rafael, obviously your ass got some money. Okay, so don't even front. So, she's trying to, work her way into there. And a lot of, women, and I know you live in San Rafael, your ass is white, right? Like you said. So, unfortunately, well, from what I've seen when I was growing up and, my clients and stuff like that, a lot of white women are raised that way. I mean, the young ones, they think that it's all about sex to get with a dude and, to keep him interested in all this stuff, that they have to do all this freaky stuff. In reality, I mean, that might keep him interested for a while, but like you're having a problem now. It's like it's too much. It's too much, and it's become boring because you're looking for something deeper, richer, and more, and she can't provide it. So what I'm going to suggest to you. Your friend says she needs some help. Your friend is right because there's something wrong with this woman. She got arrested development and her level of maturity is like very lacking. You don't need to continue seeing her. You need to cut this off. Your personality is the turn off. All that's going to happen is you're going to get more and more disgusted with her until you feel like blow up at her, and the breakup is a nasty one. What you need to do is just say, look, I've realized after a year with you that we in two different books and on very, different pages that actually in different books, and I need to find somebody who's got like a different mentality than you do, and so it's been magical, but deuces. Okay. Of course, you can use your own words, but or you can use mine. Whatever. All right. And then we're on our last question. Let me get my shoulders ready and everything. This is our last question of the day. Yeah, she just doing too much. Madam Lillian says she offering that girlfriend experience. You know what? My chat people are crazy. Yeah, there's just no substance at all. She's very childish. I don't even think she's that horny because most of these times they be doing all of this because they think that's what men want. And if they got a guy who's got some money, she's working on, trying to get some of it, have him take her to Europe and all this old stuff. That's what she's trying to do. But her approach is wrong. For a guy I mean, he sounds like he's relatively sophisticated. So her approach should have matched that. I mean, she could have still been very sexual, but in a way that was more sophisticated and sensual than real raunchy and just, trifling and hoish. So, she went down that path. And, like I said, of course, it was different and he was interested because it was exciting and new. But now it's old and he's looking for something to happen more that is, deeper and more age appropriate. And she can't deliver. So it's time to move on, home skillet. Time to move on. Find you one with some fucking class this time, because this girl don't have none. None. Zero. All right. Question number 15. On What the Fuck Tuesday, this is our last question of the day. My cousin been load me up with 15 questions every week now, so it's becoming the norm to do this many. I remember when we just used to do 9 or 10. Remember them days, Lady Boss? Them was the good old days. Them good old days is over. You guys that are just coming or just wanting it, this is What the Fuck Tuesday. We do here every Tuesday. We do live extreme advice questions that people send in to me. If you want to get your question answered live on one of these shows in the coming weeks, there's a link in the bottom down here in the show description page. So just click it and then fill out the question. Try to be, a little succinct. You see some of these folks just wrote a book. They must use every letter that they could use. But that's how you get your letter on the show. All right. So let's go. Question number 15. This is also from a young man, 26 to 35 age group, Sacramento, California. I've known my friend for a year. We were FWB. That means friends with benefits for those of you who are not familiar with that acronym. But she called it off after 3 months. Months later, I called her. We got to talking and she explained why she called it off. She wanted more than FWB. I asked her out, but then I stood her up because it felt weird that we were once FWB and going out on a date. It was wrong and I apologized. She asked if I would still like to go out and I declined. Okay, that was very telling. We still stayed friends and slept with each other on and off. This one particular time, I was comforting her due to a friend that she was upset about. They were having severe mental issues. One thing led to another and we had sex. The condom broke and she was not on birth control. You buying them cheap ass 7-Eleven condoms. It was 4 a.m., but I freaked out and asked her to come with me to buy the morning after pill. She was tired, but I still asked her to go. My card wouldn't work, and she was broke because of car issues. I got angry and frustrated. I told her that I wasn't ready for children and didn't want any. I told her that she wasn't ready either since she has a great career. She was quiet the entire drive back and said she'd find a way to get the morning after pill and left my home abruptly. She bought it. I sent her a text apologizing for the things being awkward. I also told her that it isn't that I don't want kids with her. I just don't want kids, period. She said she didn't take it personally and she was fine. She hasn't sent a text since. I think she's upset though. Was what I said bad? I really like her. I didn't mean to hurt her. Okay. There's so much to unpack here. But let me just start by saying this. You are a fucking asshole. You a little jerk. A dirty little motherfucker. That's what you are. Now, I hope I've made myself clear. Now, let me tell you why I feel that way. Number one, okay, you stood the girl up and then had the nerve to want to still call yourself a quote friend. You don't treat friends like that. You just going over there, knowing that she likes you, taking advantage of the situation and sleeping with her. If you had a person of any kind of integrity, you would have stopped there, saying, knowing that she liked you and wanted something more, and you would not have treated her that way. You would have been a man about with some respect for this girl and said no. That's not appropriate. That we shouldn't do that because I know you want more and I'm not that kind of dude. But in reality, you are that kind of dude, just a fucker. Okay. Number two, in this whole thing, I'm looking, here. Um, And in your little rant where you got angry and frustrated, now one time did you express concern for her? It was all about you. I don't want any kids, this and that. And even your little obligatory nod to her career was only as a tool to manipulate her into doing what you wanted her to do. You have a great career too. That was just your last ditch effort to try to pull her over to your side. I'm sure she don't want no baby by your crackerjack ass. You got to be kidding me. Who would want a kid with you? You are a piece of shit. A little dusty, little dust mite. And of course, you say, well, she hasn't sent a text. I mean, why would she send it? Why? What would be the reason why she would want to, contact you? You know the way that you was going off on her, like everything was her fault. You got angry and frustrated because your card didn't work. Okay, that wasn't her fault. That was your fault. You got your bank account or fucked up bank you got or whatever. You broke yourself, and then you expect her to buy your. It was your condom that broke. You was the one fucking somebody that you shouldn't have been fucking because you didn't really want to be with the woman. You were just using her. Okay, then she wrote that she wasn't ready for children and she has a great career. Um, and you did all this stuff, after you screwed her. This is the part that really, you got what you wanted, and then you just want to act like everything that happened is her fault, and that if she is pregnant, that somehow it's a punishment for you. Well, you know what would be really nice? What would really get your ass back? If she lied and said that she bought the morning after pill and your ass got to pay 18 years of child support for fucking over her. Oh my god, that would just make my goddamn week. That would make my day, week, month, 2019, because that's the kind of shit somebody little fucker like you deserves. You're gonna be a daddy and your ass gonna have to pay for it because you thought that you was gonna be getting all this free shit, and then you have to pay for it. Oh, that would just thrill me to no end. That's how I feel about your letter. I'm just saying, this is just he just doing too much. So that's my advice column for today. It just these dudes, I don't know. But bottom line here, ladies, as I say all the time, the overriding theme here from the letters from the women is you're in relationships where your needs aren't getting met. You're calling yourself in a relationship. Let me preface it that way. You're calling yourself in a relationship where you're not getting the intimacy, you're not getting the satisfaction, you're not getting the respect, you're not getting the commitment, you're not getting the devotion, you're not getting the conversation, you're not getting the sexual satisfaction, you're not getting the companionship, you're not getting anything that you really need to feel stable and secure in a relationship. So please ask yourself, why am I here? What am I doing to myself? Am I that desperate and lonely to have a man that I'm going to take all this kind of abuse and feel this bad about myself and feel lonely and hurt and alone and confused? But I'm going to call myself in a relationship. Is this really this is the best you can do for yourself? Okay, that's the theme for tonight. Do better. Okay, do better. Choose better. Do better by yourself. And I don't mean by yourself alone. I mean for yourself. Do better. Treat yourself better. Okay? Do better by yourself. You'll do better by other people. Do better by yourself. Stop caring about these dusties. Put them in the wind where they belong, like tumbleweeds. Okay? Take care of yourself. Treat yourself with the dignity and the respect and the love that you deserve to have. And then you find somebody else who's going to do the same thing and treat you the same way. And if you have any problem with that, if you have any doubts, he's not treating you the way that you want, you're crying, you're confused, you feel hurt, you feel disrespected, he's pawing at you, he's playing with other women online, and all this kind of silly stuff is going on, please remove yourself from that situation. Okay, you should do that without me having to tell you to do that, because you care that much about yourself. Okay, and if you have any concerns at all about what kind of rules to put up for yourself and boundaries and stuff, during February I did a video, I think it was the first Saturday or second Saturday of February, called your bottom line. Okay, and you need to know what your bottom line is, and that sets the tone for any relationship that you're in with the man. You need to know what your bottom line is, though, so you can communicate it to him. If you don't know and you just take anything and he just dishes out anything and you stay in a relationship, what are you communicating to him? What are you telling him about how you think about yourself? Okay, you should think the moon, like, honey, I'm telling you, the sun and the moon, right? The sun sets and the moon rises on this big head right here. That's how important I think I am. So no man is going to treat me any kind of way that makes me feel upset. I got to lift my eyebrow at him. I got to wonder what he's doing or why he's doing it. Any questions at all about his motivations for doing anything, I'm deuces. I'm not going to do that, especially at this age. Shit. We got kids in our 20s. You know what I mean? It's like I don't need to play 20s games with your 40 something year old ass, or, even older. I'm not going to do that. So you have to, ladies, set your standards, whatever your boundaries and bottom lines are. And if the dudes cross them, then get rid of them. It's 50 million more knuckleheads where he came from. They all knuckleheads, but you just got to pick a knucklehead that it has the knuckleheaded traits that you can tolerate and that don't really disrespect you and make you roll your eyes or laugh behind his back or something like that. But it should be, some lightweight bullshit, nothing that's really hurting you. And so that's my advice for today. This is Deborah Cooper, and I'm the advice columnist here on what is this, on the Debsterism channel here on YouTube and on survivingdating.com, my blog. I'm glad everybody could come and sit here with me and enjoy the show tonight. I hope that you enjoyed the humor, and that you learned a lot about how to structure any romantic relationship that you are in. Taking care of yourself is the key to your success. And I will say that every day until it sinks in. This is Deb Cooper from survivingdating.com. I will see you guys here on Thursday night. I'll be here at 6 p.m. Pacific time. I'll see you then. Bye bye.